Heartwarming journey, Orphan sold to a homeless man, uncovering an incredible billionaire secret. The storm raged outside, rain pounding like 1,000 tiny fists against the windows of the house where 12-year-old Lisa had grown tired of pretending. The air was thick with fear and despair. She didn't want to stay a moment longer. Heart pounding, she slipped out into the night, driven by the desperate need for love and safety. The chill breeze wrapped around her like a ghost's embrace, but Lisa pressed on, seeking the only place she'd ever felt a flicker of joy, a small park where laughter once filled the air. As she entered, the flickering streetlights illuminated a shimmering expanse of hope. Just then, her eyes caught a glimpse of movement beneath a nearby tree, a figure huddled beneath a tattered blanket. It was Joe, a kind homeless veteran. His weathered face, etched with the marks of time, held a gentleness that caught her attention. When their eyes met, she felt a spark of connection. "Hey there, kiddo," Joe said, his voice warm as freshly baked bread. "You look like you could use a friend." She nodded, feeling the weight of loneliness lift, just a bit. They shared stories, swapping laughter and tears like secrets. In Joe's eyes, she saw the innocence that life had tried to strip from her. He offered her bread, its softness contrasting the hard life they both led on the streets. For Lisa, it was more than just food, it was a taste of family. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. Days turned into weeks, and with each passing moment, Joe taught Lisa more than just survival. He shared wisdom about resilience and empathy, reminding her that even in darkness, there's always light to be found. Little did she know, the bond they formed was beginning to stir rumors among the people in the community, whispers that danced around like swirling leaves. Then came the day her foster family discovered her hiding place. They approached not to embrace but to reclaim their property, seeing only the dollar signs that hovered in their minds. Joe stood firm, his spirit undeterred even when the ugly truths about social prejudice bubbled to the surface. "Stay strong, kid," he urged as tension thickened like smoke in the air. But fear gnawed at Lisa's insides. Just when it seemed the walls were closing in, something shifted. Joe's hidden identity surfaced, a billionaire in disguise, living among those he wished to help. The revelation changed everything, throwing both their lives into turmoil. Would they band together against the forces trying to tear them apart? With storm clouds looming overhead, Lisa felt the weight of hope settle in her chest like a warrior's armor. This was her moment to rise. Would she stand up for the love they cultivated in the shadows of uncertainty? Each heartbeat echoed with the promise of family, dignity, and the fight for justice. The answers lingered just out of reach, leaving the question blaring in her mind: what would it take to finally belong? The cold morning light peeked through the towering trees of the park as Lisa and Joe huddled together, whispering plans for what lay ahead. Joe's revelation had set a fire ablaze within her. A billion-dollar secret and a broken little girl. Would others see the beauty of their bond? Or would they only see the dollar signs? "First things first," Joe said, his voice steady but his eyes betrayed his concern. "We need to stay safe. They won't give up easily." Lisa felt a rush of determination. She wanted to scream, "I'm not just a girl they can take back." But her words were buried in the muck of fear. Joe continued, "We can stay here for now, but we'll need a plan. We're a team now, kid. You and me against the world." That simple declaration filled Lisa with warmth. Here was someone who believed in her, who chose her over the worry of their situation. As the day unfolded, they devised strategies to shield themselves. Joe suggested they seek out local shelters that had resources for homeless families. "Your story could make a difference," he encouraged her. "People will listen if you're brave enough to share it." Lisa was both terrified and exhilarated. She had held back for so long, hidden in shadows. Would her voice matter? But then she thought of others like her, others who were suffering, lost, and alone. Bolt by bolt, she felt the walls crumble around her heart. They decided to make their first stop at the community center nearby. Joe, despite the layers that protected him from the chill, looked fragile under the fluorescent lights. His gentle spirit drew people in, creating a warmth in the cold environment. Lisa watched as he approached the counter, speaking to a worker who seemed puzzled but intrigued by their presence. "Tell them what's on your mind." Joe nudged her forward. Lisa's heart pounded. She stepped closer, gathering all the courage she could muster. I need help, we need help." Her voice trembled, but she pushed through the uncertainty. "Our lives are different. I just want a chance to be safe." The worker's eyes softened. There was a flicker of understanding, a glimpse of connection. "I can help, sweetie. But you have to promise me you'll be honest. There's power in your truth." With each word, Lisa realized that she was shedding her past. The thought of belonging sparked a beacon deep within her. They spent the next hours filling out forms, sharing their unique circumstances. Joe's grit complemented her innocent spirit, and together they echoed hope amidst hardship. By the time they left the center, Lisa felt the weight of the world lighten just a fraction. They had taken a step, a leap, towards something bigger than themselves. The day drifted into evening, and they made their way back to the park. But the stillness was short-lived. A figure emerged from the shadows, and Lisa froze. "There you are. We've been looking for you." It was her foster family, eyes sharp with anger, determination, and unfathomable greed. Joe stepped in front of her, his voice rising above the rising waves in her heart. "You want to take her? Not again." The tension snapped like a taut string, and fear gripped Lisa's throat. This was at the moment she had dreaded, unavoidable like a storm. Would she stand with Joe, confronting the shadows of her past? Or would she flee, leaving behind the light they had begun to carve out together? The line had been drawn, but at what cost? The shadows pressed in on Lisa as her heart raced. Her foster family, looming with intimidating presence, filled her with dread. Their loud voices cut through the night air like a cold knife, each word steeped in anger and resentment. She could feel their eyes piercing through her, as if they were ready to snatch her away, just like before. "Why are you with him?" one of them barked, pointing a finger at Joe, his tone dripping with disdain. "You don't belong with that thing. You're ours." "No!" Lisa shouted, her voice gaining strength from somewhere deep inside. The warmth from Joe's earlier words flickered like a flame, igniting newfound courage within her. She stepped beside Joe, her protector, her ally. "I'm not yours. I don't want to go back." Joe turned to her, his gaze steady and fierce. "We're a team," he reminded her softly. "You don't have to be afraid. Just look at me." His calmness steadied her. The connection they had formed felt like an unbreakable bond, a lighthouse in her turbulent sea. She heard the crack in the air, the tension rising like a wave threatening to crash. "Lisa, you don't understand," another voice chimed in, this one dripping with false concern. "They've tried to take care of you. They just want what's best. Lisa interrupted, shaking her head. "What's best is being safe. They only want my money, and when they're done with me, I'm just gone." The realization flooded out of her. Joe's belief in her had lightened the burdens that kept her grounded in fear. The word hung in the air, raw and painful. "Gone." It echoed in the silence that followed, leaving her breathless. What was left of her childhood had only been a mirage, and now it felt like she was finally being seen for who she was. Joe advanced a step, his presence towering. "She's been through enough. You don't have any hold over her anymore." The tension bounced around them like a palpable wall, thick and heavy. The other side exchanged frantic whispers. Let us not turn this into a scene, one of them muttered, though anger still brewed in their eyes. I want out, Lisa declared, her voice breaking but resolute. It was a declaration, a breakdown of chains that had bound her for too long. I want to find my own way. I want to be free. The shock on her foster family's faces was a mixture of disbelief and rage. You're just a kid. You don't know what you're saying. They shouted. But I know what it feels like. Lisa shot back, tears pricking her eyes. I know what it feels like to be unloved and taken for granted. Her voice cracked but then firmed. I know that Joe cares about me. He sees me. And I can't keep being someone's second choice. The words hung in the air, a clarion call for her future. She stole a glance at Joe, who nodded with pride simmering in his gaze. It was a moment of bravery, a shard of light breaking through dark clouds. The shadows around them seemed to recede. Her foster family exchanged exasperated looks, their grip on her slipping like sand through fingers. For the first time, Lisa felt hope simmering within her. Maybe, just maybe, they could carve out a new path. But then, in the distance, another shadow loomed, a car pulled up with headlights cutting through the night. Who is that? Joe murmured, his protective stance tensing again. Lisa's stomach dropped as she recognized the oncoming figures. It was someone from her past, someone she thought she could escape. What did they want? In that moment, she felt a wave of uncertainty crash over her once again. Would she have the strength to confront yet another storm? Or would the light they found begin to dim? With everything hanging in the balance, Lisa stood her ground, heart pounding. The fight was far from over. The car doors swung open, and two familiar figures emerged, their silhouettes outlined by the blinding headlights. Lisa's heart raced faster than before. Against the backdrop of rising tension, she recognized their faces, friends from her past who had once brought her joy but were now tainted by memories of betrayal. Lisa. One of them called, their tone carrying an urgency that sent chills down her spine. We've been looking everywhere for you. Stay back. Joe warned, stepping protectively between them and Lisa, muscles tense like coils ready to snap. The fierce protectiveness in his voice made Lisa's heart swell, an undeniable anchor in the chaos. Joe, it's fine, she said, her voice shaky, but the resolve returning as she stepped forward. Alice, Sam, what are you doing here? Alice, with her wild red curls and freckled face, looked pained. We just found out. We came to help. But help. The word felt heavy and insincere after all that Lisa had been through. How could they say they wanted to help when they had turned their backs before? The doubt crept in, heavy and suffocating. Help? Lisa echoed, disbelief tainting her tone. Last time you said you'd help, you disappeared. You didn't even care we cared. Sam interjected, fists clenched. Things got complicated. You have to believe us. But the sincerity in their eyes didn't erase the hurt. The memories of laughter and bonding flooded her mind, too quickly chased away by the sting of abandonment. How had they found her? Was this some setup? Why now? Lisa asked, crossing her arms defensively. Why are you really here? Joe stood resolute by her side, as if daring them to take a step closer. It gave her strength. She glanced to her foster family. They looked like wild animals in a cage, with fury simmering, but she could feel their grip weakening. Just talk to us, Alice pleaded, her voice softer now, full of longing. We want to make things right. You deserve better than what they've done. Lisa searched their gazes, looking for something genuine. Did they mean it? As uncertainty swirled in her mind, a part of her wanted to embrace the past, the laughter, the carefree days. But the other part recoiled, wanting to protect the fragile heart she had just begun to mend. You don't get it, Lisa said, her voice cracking. I'm not a kid anymore. I fought for my freedom. I have someone who believes in me. She pointed to Joe, feeling fierce pride in her heart. He had been her lifeline. "We're just trying to guide you, Lisa. You should come back with us and know." Lisa exclaimed. "You don't understand. I'm done with being guided. I'm ready to find my own path." An electric silence settled over them. Tension pulsed through the air like a thick fog. But then, a sudden movement from her foster family broke the stillness. One of them, a woman with sharp features, surged forward, fury in her eyes. "You think this is a game? You think you can just walk away?" Fear soared through Lisa's heart again, but then she felt Joe's hand grip hers, steady and firm. It felt grounding, solid. Suddenly, from behind, a gentle hand rested on Lisa's shoulder. Startling, she turned to see a stranger with a calm, warm smile, a figure of comfort in this storm. "I hear your pain, Lisa," the stranger said softly. "You're stronger than you think. This is your moment. Don't let them snatch it away." In that instant, everything seemed to hang in the balance. Choices loomed ahead of her, brighter than the headlights, more promising than the tensions. But could she really trust that feeling? With the weight of her decision pressing heavily, Lisa felt the resolve flood back. It was time to step forward, to own her story. And as the choice unfolded before her, she sensed that it could carve out a path that no one, not even her past, could erase. But would it be enough to face the darkness that still lingered beyond the headlights? Would she stand tall against the shadows that threatened to pull her back into doubt? As the confrontation crackled in the air, Lisa's heart beat a steady drum of hope and fear. The moment of truth was almost here. The silence morphed into a palpable tension. Lisa could feel it wrapping around her like an unwelcome, tight embrace. Her heart thudded painfully against her chest as she looked into the eyes of Alice and Sam. They were once her closest friends, but now, their familiar faces stirred a storm of conflicting emotions. "Lisa, please," Alice whispered, her voice laced with desperation. "We need you to understand. We didn't know how to deal with everything. We stopped." Lisa cut her off, her voice rising with frustration. "You say you care, but what about all those times you vanished when I needed you the most? It felt like I was fighting alone." Sam dropped his gaze. "We were scared, okay? It was too much. For all of us. Scared." A part of Lisa felt that too, but fear couldn't be excused. She crossed her arms tighter around herself, as if to close off the hurt. Just as Lisa's resolve seemed to falter, the stranger's hand on her shoulder tightened reassuringly. She turned to face this calm figure, who studied her with steady, kind eyes. Somehow, she felt a flicker of hope there, despite the chaos swirling around her. "Your past may echo in your choices," the stranger said gently, "but it doesn't define your future. You can write your own story." Taking a deep breath, Lisa spoke again, her voice steadier this time. "You all think this is just about me, but every choice I've made has taken me further away from the misery that surrounded me before. I want to let you drag me back into it." Joe grinned at her, pride radiating off him like warmth, his hands still clasped around hers. The strength in his grip fortified her courageous words. "Lisa's right," he said, staring directly at Alice and Sam. "You talk about caring, but it sounds more like nostalgia than a real desire to support her. If you truly cared, you'd recognize that the only thing she needs right now is freedom and to steer her own path." His voice echoed in the night, cutting through the tension. "Freedom?" The woman from her foster family spat out, anger spilling onto her face. "What do you know about freedom? You're just a kid." In that moment, Lisa's heart raced again, this time with clarity. "I'm more than just a kid. I have made mistakes, but I've also learned and grown. I've dealt with lessons that shaped me into who I am today, not who you wanted me to be." Alice shook her head, tears welling in her eyes. "Please, just let us help you. We can figure this out together. We're still friends." Lisa felt the tightness in her chest loosen slightly at the word friends. Once, this plea might have stung, striking a nerve, but all the love mingled with hurt and abandonment didn't settle easily in her heart now. "Friends?" she repeated, her tone flat. "You lost that title the moment you chose not to stand by me." The pain of their past echoed in her words. Yet, she sensed something shift within herself, the stirrings of acceptance. She could love her memories without yearning to return to them. "I can't go back," she finished, her voice barely above a whisper, but firm nonetheless. "Not to who I was or to who you were." As she made peace with her decision, the stranger smiled softly at her, and for a moment, the chaos around her melted away. But suddenly, a loud crash broke through the moment. Lisa's heart sank as her foster family began to push forward, anger erupting. She glanced at Joe, who was ready to defend her against whatever came next. "Lisa, we need to get out of here," he shouted over the chaos, pulling her closer. And just like that, with the past grilling at her heels, Lisa found herself faced with a choice that could lead her into the unknown. Would she be brave enough to leap forward, or would she let fear tether her once again? The headlights of the car illuminated shadows ready to pounce, offering a vivid contrast to everything she fought against. Her next steps felt crucial. Was she prepared to embrace the freedom she craved, away from everything that haunted her? Lisa's pulse raced as she followed Joe's lead, her heart pounding with every footstep. The headlights from his car cast long shadows on the pavement, making the world beyond seem both promising and terrifying. The sound of raised voices grew fainter behind her, but the weight of betrayal and hurt clung to her like a heavy cloak. "Where to, Lisa?" Joe asked, urgency evident in his voice. He glanced over his shoulder, eyes sharp, ready for anything. I don't know," she replied, her voice barely more than a whisper. The uncertainty of her next step gnawed at her heart. It was more than just a physical escape. This was a leap into a new identity. "Let us just go, okay? We can figure things out on the road." Joe's reassuring grip was firm, a tangible reminder that she wasn't alone. They both climbed into the car. Its interior felt safe, almost like a cocoon. With a deep sigh, Lisa sank into the seat. All the confusion, all those moments of loneliness, seemed to tumble over each other in her mind. What if they're right? What if leaving only makes things worse? Joe started the engine with a confident roar, pulling away from the chaotic scene. "You're making the right choice. You're choosing yourself now. That's bravery." His words wrapped around her like a warm blanket. As they drove into the night, the city lights began to blur into streaks, each one a reminder of the life she was leaving behind. She glanced out the window, her breath hitching at the bittersweet view of familiar streets. Memories flooded her, laughter with Alice and Sam on summer days that felt long ago, moments of trust that had shattered. But now, they were just memories, fleeting shadows in the rearview mirror. "What's next?" she finally asked, stealing a glance at Joe. She could see the determination in his eyes, shining through the uncertainty of the road ahead. "I think we should head to my aunt's place. It'll be quiet, and she could help us figure out what you want to do next." His voice was steady. "You deserve to take a breath and look at the choices in front of you, without any outside pressure. Your aunt." The thought of another adult, another person to navigate, set off a wave of unease. But at the same time, the idea of support flickered like a candle in the dark. "What if she doesn't want me there?" "She will," Joe insisted, voice firm. "She always has room for one more. Plus, it'll give you a chance to think things through, away from that madness." Her stomach twisted into knots. Wouldn't he going to Joe's and feel like one more compromise? But another part whispered that it might also hold promise, the chance to start anew, the chance to shape her own story, one that wasn't defined by her past. "You really think I can write my own story?" Lisa asked softly, her voice shaking with vulnerability. "Absolutely," Joe replied, turning to her with a smile that lit up the shadows in the car. "You are stronger than you know." The road stretched out before them, winding into an uncertain future. Each mile pulled her further away from a life she was eager to escape. But the question lingered, a haunting refrain: had she left enough of her past behind to embrace what lay ahead? As they drove into the star-dotted void, Lisa faced a stark reality. What would she find at the end of this journey? More importantly, would she find herself? And before she knew it, the weight of those questions settled in her chest once more, making her wonder if she was truly prepared for what awaited on the other side of this leap. Just as her thoughts spiraled, Joe suddenly swerved to avoid something in the road. The car skidded slightly, and Lisa gasped. What was that? Joe's eyes widened, and he slowed the car. Shadows flickered ahead, hinting that their journey was about to take an uncharted turn. A new danger loomed, one that could threaten everything she was striving to build. "Let us just see," Joe whispered, glancing nervously down the road. She wanted to scream, to tell him to turn back. But part of her, the part that felt that flicker of hope, was already hungry for the unknown, no matter how frightening it might be. Joe inched the car forward, cautious yet curious. The headlights cut through the darkness, illuminating the vague outline of a figure sprawled on the side of the road. Lisa's heart raced as an unsettling mix of fear and intrigue formed a tight knot in her stomach. What if it's someone who needs help? She proposed, the words tumbling out almost against her will. They hung in the air, a fragile offering of compassion amidst the chaos of her thoughts. "We can't just leave them," Joe replied, scanning the area. "But we have to be careful. We don't know who or what we're dealing with." For a brief moment, Lisa's resolve wavered. Just getting out of there had felt like a reclaiming of herself. Now, the warm cocoon of the car felt safer than whatever lay ahead of them. Yet that small flicker of hope, the one Joe ignited in her, urged her to act differently. As they approached the figure, Lisa could see details emerge from the darkness: an older man, disheveled and weather-worn, his clothes tattered and dirty. He stared up at them with weary eyes, reflecting a life hard-lived. Is he all right?" Lisa asked, her voice barely a whisper as they pulled to a stop. "He doesn't look too good," Joe said, concern lining his features. "Let us check." Nervously, they stepped out of the car, the gravel crunching beneath their feet sounding loud in the stillness. The cool night air wrapped around them like a thin veil, bringing a shiver that had nothing to do with the temperature. "Hey there, sir," Joe called, kneeling down. "Can we help you?" The man blinked slowly, trying to focus. I just need a moment," he murmured, voice cracking like old wood. Lisa felt a wave of reality wash over her. This man was a reminder. A reminder that life had countless stories, some heart-wrenching and raw, others hopeful and inspiring. And yet here she was, trying to escape her past while standing at the cusp of a possible new beginning. "Joe, maybe we should," she started, but a steely resolve formed within her chest. They had come this far, after all. Maybe it was time to not only think about themselves but about the people around them too. "Wait," she said, stepping forward. "What do you need?" The man looked surprised, then impressed. He seemed to weigh his words carefully. "A little food would do me well. Just a sandwich would make things a bit brighter." "I can help with that," Lisa said, surprising herself with her own conviction. She remembered the snacks she kept in her bag, remnants from a half-finished trip that started before everything had gone sideways. Maybe it wasn't just about fleeing into the unknown, it could also be about forging connections, however brief they might be. Joe's astonishment flickered across his face, but he nodded. "All right. I'll grab the gear." He dashed back to the car and returned with a water bottle and a couple of granola bars, his expression a mix of pride and anxiety. As they knelt beside the man, Lisa felt the tension slip away, replaced by an unexpected warmth. "What is your name?" she asked gently. "Sam," he replied, as if simply stating his name could reclaim a part of him that had been lost. "Nice to meet you, Sam," Joe added, offering one of the granola bars. "Here, eat something." As Sam accepted it, gratitude lighting up his eyes, Lisa felt a deeper sense of purpose settling in. Maybe this journey would be about healing, not just for her but for others too. As Sam chewed silently, a sudden thought struck Lisa, cutting through the moment. What if their lives were more interconnected than they realized? Just then, a sound pierced the stillness, a low rumble, like thunder but grounded. A feeling of impending dread crept in, as if the earth itself was warning them. Did you hear that? Joe scanned the surroundings, his expression shifting from concern to alarm. I did. It sounds close, Lisa replied, glancing around, suddenly aware that the night was shifting in ways she hadn't expected. In that moment, all the uncertainty of their journey surged back. What awaited them next? What would they uncover in this tangled web of fates? They couldn't turn back. Now. The reservation inside Lisa battled with the hopes she dared to nurture. Little did they know, the road ahead held secrets that would test their newfound courage and change their lives forever. Would she be ready to face what awaited them lurking just beyond the shadows? The rumble grew louder, vibrating through the air like a distant freight train, sending a shiver down Lisa's spine. The three of them were suddenly trapped in a moment that felt oversized, stretched thin by the weight of uncertainty. Maybe we should move, Joe suggested, glancing nervously at the road. Right, Lisa agreed, but her feet felt glued to the spot. Where would they go? Back into the car. Escape the situation. But something stopped her. Sam clearly needed this food and perhaps the connection. Sam, she said, her voice steadying. Do you feel safe here? Do you think we should find somewhere else? It's all right, Ma, he croaked, wiping his mouth with the back of his hand. Just hang tight. I've been through worse storms. The rumble grew closer, and Lisa caught a glimmer in Joe's eye. He was a lighthouse amid the chaos, embodying strength, ready to stand against whatever came their way. Let us sit with him, Joe suggested. We don't know what that sound is, but we can at least protect him. Lisa nodded and lowered herself beside Sam. The gravel beneath felt sharp, but there was a comfort in making this choice. Sam's presence became grounding, a testament that they were all fighting their own battles, each marked by struggle and survival. Time felt elastic, the sounds of the approaching vehicle lingering in the air even as they settled into something braver. The three of them formed an unlikely alliance. It was as if the universe entwined their stories for a fleeting moment, weaving together threads of compassion, care, and resilience. What brings you out here alone, Sam? Lisa asked, wanting to understand, wanting to learn. He inhaled sharply, sadness casting a shadow over his age-worn face. Just lost my way, he said finally. Used to be a businessman once, had a life in the city. Then it all fell apart. I thought I could rebuild, but, well, here I am. Lisa exchanged a glance with Joe, both of them taken aback by the sudden wave of vulnerability he shared. She felt a pang in her heart. Wasn't he that the crux of humanity? The fragility of life, the unforeseen spirals that brought them to places like this, under the dim glow of uncertain streetlights? I get that, Joe said, his voice softer now. Sometimes, life knocks you down when you least expect it. But you can't give up. Sam's eyes sparkled with appreciation. You're a good kid, he said. Sometimes, it just takes a bit of kindness to remind us that we're not alone. As their conversation wove on, the rumbling softened and then suddenly erupted into a thunderous roar. Headlights pierced through the darkness, bathing them in a blinding glow. In an instant, the atmosphere shifted, tension tightening like a coiled spring. Lisa squinted, trying to make out the vehicle emerging from the shadows. Looks like it might be trouble, Joe whispered, instinctively standing to shield Lisa and Sam. The silhouette of an enormous truck lumbered into view, illuminated by the flickering lights. It's a tow truck, Sam muttered, his voice laced with uncertainty. But I don't think they're here for me. The driver jumped down, and Lisa caught sight of a figure who oozed authority. The air turned electric, crackling with impending conflict. As the driver approached, the faint sound of a familiar tune drifted out with the breeze. Joe's protective instincts kicked in. "We should prepare to leave," he warned quietly. But Lisa felt a tug at her heart. "Wait. We can't just run. What if they know something? What if they can help us?" Joe, frustration evident, clenched his jaw. "This could end badly, Lisa." Ignoring him, she took a step forward, sensing the weight of decisions pressing down harder than ever. Whatever was about to unfold, she felt an undeniable shift within her. "Hey!" she called out. "Do you need help?" The driver stopped dead in his tracks, taken aback. A knowing smile crept onto his face. "Maybe you're the one to help," he said, his eyes narrowing with intrigue. The world around them held its breath, waiting for what came next. A rush of adrenaline coursed through Lisa. Whatever twist awaited them, it would change everything. But was she ready to embrace the unknown? The driver with the knowing smile took a slow step forward, his demeanor shifting from curiosity to something more serious. Lisa felt her heart race, her palms clammy against her jeans. It took her a moment to gather her thoughts, but she could feel Sam's anxious glance flickering back and forth between them. "Can I help you?" she asked again, her voice a mixture of courage and apprehension. "It's not often I find folks out here at this hour in need of direction," he replied, his tone friendly yet cautious. "You lost?" "No," where she hesitated, glancing at Joe and Sam. "Just visiting." Joe shifted uneasily, a protective chain of tension coiling around him. "Visiting?" he echoed skeptically, his eyes narrowed. The driver chuckled softly. "Well, then you might want to pack up and move along, before the wind picks up. It's not always safe out here, and I'm not talking about the storm." Lisa exchanged a glance with Joe, who seemed uncertain. Sam looked lost, his wrinkled brow furrowing deeper. She took a step closer to the driver. "Why? Is something about to happen?" He leaned forward, his voice dropping an octave, engaging directly with her. "There are things happening in this town. Things people don't talk about. The kind of things that could swallow you whole. I've seen it, good folks like you getting dragged under." A shiver ran down Lisa's spine. Was this his way of warning them? The sense of foreboding made her stomach twist. "Like what?" Joe countered, crossing his arms, unwilling to let fear lace his voice. "If there's danger, we have a right to know." The driver hesitated for just a moment. "I'd rather not spread gossip," he said carefully. "Just keep your wits about you." The hum of the approaching storm further painted the backdrop with an unsettling tension. Lisa felt it too, the mounting pressure in the air, a shroud of something dark lurking. She had a gut feeling this man was trying to protect them, but from what? "Is there a place we can stay safe until this blows over?" she asked. She was drafting a lifeline, a thread of hope amidst the chaos tightening around them. "There is," he replied, his smile returning, although it didn't reach his eyes. "That's what I meant when I said I might need some help. You all look like you could use a warm roof for a night. But once you step in, you also step into the heart of this town. You come out changed. You up for that?" Sam blinked in recognition, sensing both the opportunity and the risk. "Change, huh? It seems that's been my story for a while now," he murmured, almost to himself. Lisa felt a wave of resolve wash over her. Here and now, they had a chance to forge a new path, albeit fraught with uncertainty. "We'll do it," she declared, her voice firm. Joe sighed, the weight of his concerns heavy in the air between them. What if he's leading us into something dangerous? The driver shrugged, his eyes glinting with mischief and mystery. "The heart wants what the heart wants," he said cryptically. "And sometimes, it leads you to places you didn't know were waiting for you." With that, he turned, motioning for them to follow him. Lisa felt a surge of something, an impulse intertwined with fear and excitement. "Let us go," she said to Joe and Sam. They were bound together now, stepping into the unknown. As they walked closer to the truck, Lisa glanced back at the distance they were leaving behind. The weight of uncertainty still hung in the air, but with each step, she felt that maybe this risk was worth it. Little did they know, secrets lurched just around the corner, waiting to unravel everything they thought they knew. "Hold on tight, everyone," she whispered, feeling a flicker of bravery ignite within her. What awaited them inside that quirky little house would expose truths far beyond their imagination, a dangerous realm where vulnerability could lead to unexpected revelations. With each heartbeat, they raced toward fate, unaware it would change all of them forever. The truck's engine rumbled like a distant thunderstorm as Lisa, Joe, and Sam climbed in, feeling the warmth from the fading sunlight outside. The driver, whose friendly demeanor now seemed like a shield, carefully navigated the winding road. Lisa's heart danced with a blend of hope and trepidation. What awaited them inside the driver's destination? Was this truly their chance to find a home, or merely another false promise? As they turned into a narrow driveway guarded by towering trees, the quirky little house came into view. Its paint was chipped, and the roof sagged slightly, but twinkling fairy lights hugged the porch, welcoming them like an embrace. "Welcome to my humble abode," the driver said with a chuckle. "Name's Hank, by the way." "Nice to meet you, Hank," Lisa replied, taking a cautious step out of the truck. Joe and Sam followed suit, the simplicity of the situation momentarily easing the palpable tension between them. Inside, the walls seemed to pulse with stories. Colorful tapestries adorned the space, and small paintings lined the shelves, each piece whispering narratives crafted in strokes of joy and sorrow. A flickering fireplace released a fragrant warmth, and laughter echoed softly from a room at the back. "This place feels magical," Lisa breathed, awed. "Feels like home," Joe whispered beside her, his voice thick with emotion. They settled into mismatched chairs circling the hearth, and Hank offered them tea. As they sipped, the warmth spread beyond their fingertips, sinking deep into their hearts. The edges of reality softened, and for the first time in a long while, Lisa felt something other than fear. "Why do you bring us here, Hank?" Sam asked, his brow furrowed, curiosity shining through. Hank leaned forward, elbows resting on his knees. "You remind me of people I once knew. Down on their luck yet still ready to fight. This house is a haven, but it's not just a place to sleep, it's a community. Here, we help each other heal." Tension simmered just beneath the surface, a mix of hope and apprehension, a reminder of scars yet to be faced. "But what about secrets? What are we getting ourselves into?" Lisa questioned, feeling more bold with each heartbeat. "What you've faced makes you strong," Hank replied gently. "But life is not just about the struggles you survive. It's about the bonds you forge through shared experiences. Here, you'll find the family you've been searching for in each of us, flaws and all." Joe's eyes sparkled with realization. "Family? You mean that kind of support?" Hank nodded. "Exactly. You create connections, build trust, and share laughter. It's raw and vulnerable, but it's real. I know you all have found each other because there's strength in numbers." As the conversations evolved, laughter intermingled with tales from their past. Sam shared his hopes of regaining stability while Joe disclosed dreams deferred by life's unexpected twists. Lisa shared her fears but also the flicker of hope ignited by Joe's unwavering belief in her. "Do you really think we can start fresh?" Lisa asked, her voice trembling with vulnerability. Hank leaned close, his eyes gleaming. "Of course. Change is inevitable. But it's up to you how you want to transform. You can take everything that has hurt you and use it as fuel or let it weigh you down. The choice is yours." Something shifted in Lisa, as if light pierced through a veil of uncertainty. For so long, she had let fear dictate her identity. But now, surrounded by people who genuinely cared, she felt the tentative stirrings of empowerment blossom within. "I want to be someone who helps," she declared, glancing at Joe and Sam. "Not only for me, but for others who feel lost." "Count me in," Sam said, fire in his voice. Let us give back what was taken from us. Then we'll make this place home, Joe surged with excitement. Compassion, courage, those should be our cornerstones. Hank smiled broadly, and that spark of community ignited in the air, wrapping around them like a blanket of shared dreams. Every discussion opened new doors of future possibility stretching before them. As night fell, they gathered outside, a moon hanging overhead like a watchful guardian. Every twinkling star was a reminder of their shared journey. They were no longer drifting souls bound by their pasts. Instead, they stood united by a newfound purpose. Lisa felt an overwhelming surge of joy, unconditional and powerful. Together, we can change our stories, she proclaimed, letting herself savor the moment. In the stillness of the night, they felt a bond form, each heartbeat a note in an unfolding symphony of resilience. Here's to new beginnings, Joe said, his laugh ringing out. Here's to family, Sam echoed, his voice rising. Lisa threw her head back and laughed, a sound free of sorrow, filled only with hope. And under the vast expanse of stars, they knew this was a pivotal moment. They had chosen to embrace the unknown, stepping into a life where healing was not just possible, but inevitable. No longer mere victims of their circumstances, they were warriors of light together, finding strength in vulnerability, building the future they desired. With each step forward, Lisa realized they could write beautiful, untold stories brighter than she ever dreamed. This was their time, and each heartbeat whispered a promise of hope, connection, and a transformed destiny. You need to subscribe now. This is the moment to show your support. Don't wait not even one more second to share. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm, ensuring you catch the next inspiring story. Comment your reactions and feelings about this incredible journey. Share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. Let us spread the hope.